Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Jeezy TV, and we are back with another 2022 movie. I just kind of wanted to get to a bunch of these because, I kind of missed out on that year in terms of horror, and a lot of people were saying this is one of the best years of horror we've had in a minute. And I can agree. I've watched a decent amount of 2022 horror movies that are just like, wow, these are incredible. Smile was awesome. Smile, Barbarian, X, Pearl. I mean, I can name a couple more. I mean, it was a really good year for horror movies. I mean, a good year for movies in general. You had like The Whale. That movie was good as well. And yeah, man. I mean, The Batman came out. Nope was decent. But bones and all, I don't know, man. Something about the last couple weeks, fresh and bones and all. Something about people using cannibalism for a horror aspect. It's kind of weird. I've seen some graphic movies on this channel, especially since I've started to review movies. But wow, man, this is just it's weird, man. I don't know. It's weird to glorify this and make it okay and justifiable in a film. But anyways, plot, critical reception, you know the deal. So, Marin Yearly is a teenage girl living in Maryland under the care of her father, Frank. Um, we don't really know what happened to her mother, but we will learn soon enough. With her having displayed cannibalistic tendencies ever since she murdered her babysitter at the age of 3, Frank abandons her shortly after her 18th birthday, having become overly distressed due to Marin's lack of remorse for her actions. She's just like eating people and like not giving a fuck. So he's like, yeah, this child's not fucking normal. I'm gonna leave her alone. And I mean, obviously, if she can cannibalize people, she shouldn't be that bad off on her own. That type of thing, I guess. He leaves behind some cash, her birth certificate, and a message on a cassette tape in which he states that he hopes she will someday learn to overcome her urges and stop being a fucking cannibal. Because obviously that's not fucking normal. Who has cannibalistic urges? Like, I've never even seen like a case of that on the news or anything. Like, that's so fucking out of the blue. And so, I don't know. So, Marin decides to travel to Minnesota, which is listed as the birthplace of her mother, Janelle, who left her when she was an infant. And again, we're going to learn more about her mother here soon enough. It's kind of a fucked up situation. This is genetic, by the way, for a lot of the characters in the film. Whilst waiting at a bus station, she is approached by an older man named Sully, who recognized her as a fellow eater because of her scent and leads her to a house owned by an elderly woman near death. And yeah, this is the first eater. That's kind of what they call themselves that we meet in the film. And there's fucking more people like this. Like, what kind of fucking society is this? I don't know, man. After the woman dies, Sully begins feasting on her corpse, and Marin, though reluctant, joins in. And I guess he kind of has a rule that he's not going to kill someone by eating them. He's going to wait till they die and eat their corpse. That's fucking gross either way, and wrong either way. But yeah, Marin, again, trying to kind of push this cannibalistic thing to the side, but she bonds with too many people of that type. Sully expresses interest in becoming a father figure for Marin, but she leaves the house soon after. I mean, this guy's fucking creepy. Why would you want this guy to be your father figure? I don't know. That's weird. While shoplifting supplies in Indiana, Marin witnesses an intoxicated male customer harassing a woman before a young man named Lee forces the man to leave. And this is like the second protagonist in the film kind of making an appearance. I mean, the main one is Marin, but he's pretty much the co-protagonist. Marin later spots Lee outside feeding on the man's corpse, and the two make introductions like, oh, we both like to fucking eat people. Yeah, let's fucking bond over this. It's such a weird film. I mean, the cast is really cool. I like that Timothée Chalamet is in this lane. I've never really seen him in a movie like this. I mean, I know he's been in Dune. His acting career is kind of just starting to kick off, So hopefully we see him in more movies like this. Not like this, but like horror. I mean, Lee offers to help Marin find her mother, and the two head off in the victim's stolen truck. I mean, before that, she was kind of just like hitching rides and catching the bus and whatever. Now she has Lee. She has a traveling companion, I guess. The two grow to fall in love with each other during the journey, and during a brief stay in Lee's hometown in Kentucky, Marin notices Lee's unwillingness to disclose certain aspects of his past, such as his father's absence and the reason why he avoids being spotted around town. Yeah, I mean, this guy's had a pretty fucked up past. I mean, Marin has, her mother left her, but, like, until you learn what the hell happened to Lee, like, you don't even fucking know. Like, this guy's had a fucked up family life. Marin manages to track down the home of her maternal grandmother, Barbara, who, despite having had no prior knowledge of her existence, informs her that Janelle voluntarily admitted herself into a psychiatric hospital in Fergus Falls several years prior. I mean, again, we're going to find out she let the fucking cannibalism get to her, so now she's gone clinically insane, and now she has to be held at Fergus Falls. She admitted herself. Like, that's crazy. There, Marin finally reunites with her mother, who she is shocked to find has self-cannibalized her own hands. Yeah, she literally has fucking nubs because she ate her hands off. Like, are we joking? Like, what the hell is going on? However, a nurse then gives Marin a letter that Janelle wrote to her in case they were ever to meet again, which concludes with Janelle's belief that Marin would be better off dead than living as a monster. Like, that's why she fucking left her. I mean, she has bitter feelings for her, and she's a fucking cannibal too. I don't understand why the hell you're calling her a monster when you ate your own fucking hands off. I mean, Marin hasn't taken it that far that she wants to fucking eat herself, you know? Janelle proceeds to attack her daughter before being restrained. Like, she fucking hates her daughter, right? I mean, again, that's why she left her in the first place. Disturbed and unwilling to go down the same path as her mother, Marin leaves while Lee is asleep before being approached by Sully, who has been stalking her and pretty much following her and Lee's journey this entire time. Like, this guy's not going to give it a rest. And Marin's, like, really, really scared that she's going to become just like her mother. And, yeah, she's kind of, like, having a panic attack, you know? She turns down his offer to become companions, causing him to curse at her in anger before departing. Like, fuck you, you know, it's funny. It's kind of funny. I mean, I don't know. It seems like he has, like, an off-script moment. I mean, obviously she has Lee. And she kind of, I don't know. Once he realizes Marin is gone, a devastated Lee decides to return home. Like, he loved this girl, you know? Marin eventually makes her way back to Kentucky to reunite with Lee. She runs into Lee's younger sister, Kayla, who reveals that on the night of her and Lee's alcoholic, abusive father's disappearance, he beat both of his children before mysteriously vanishing while Kayla ran to get to the police. So she's kind of she's telling her kind of part of the story, but, I mean, Lee later is like, no, that's not what the fuck happened all the way, you know? There's more to this, and he doesn't want to reveal it. Obviously, he's very, like, emotionally vulnerable towards the situation. Having been initially considered the prime suspect, Lee was cleared once it was proven that the blood found on him was his own. Like, he got the shit beat out of him. Marin and Lee reunite and rekindle their relationship before deciding to flee westward to start a new life. Lee reveals to Marin that he was responsible for his father's disappearance, having killed him and eating his corpse before hiding it away. Again, that's, like, really not something he wanted to disclose, but now that they're in a serious relationship, he feels a little more comfortable doing it. He tearfully asks Marin if she thinks he is a bad person, but she declares her love for him, and they vow to abstain from cannibalism and attempt to lead a normal life together. Like, this cannibalistic shit has only, like, led to bad things for them and, like, trauma and heartbreak and all this stuff. So they gotta try to fucking get away from that lifestyle, because it's not it. Sometime later, the two are shown to be living happily in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Like, they're normal again, you know what I mean? I guess they were never really normal, because Marin's been doing this since she was fucking 3. Marin returns home one day to find Sully has broken into their apartment, and he threatens her at knife point, bemoaning her past rejections. Like, again, this guy's, like, fucking stalking them the entire time. So, after Lee arrives, they succeed in killing Sully, but Lee is fatally wounded in the struggle and in fear that he's going to die, you know? As he bleeds out, Lee expresses his wish for Marin to eat his body as he dies to show the love. Eat it and show some love. Like, what the fuck? What were the show creators thinking going into this? It's so fucking weird, man. Marin frantically refuses at first, but eventually gives in, and that's when the film ends. And they're, like, sitting fucking, like, half naked on the... I don't know. It was a weird ending. A lot of movies from 2022 honestly had some weird-ass endings, which is cool. I mean, I like the unorthodox aspect of movies, but, yeah. It got an 82%, 277 critics, 7.4 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. Although its subject matter may be hard to stomach, Bones and all proves a deeply romantic and thought-provoking treat. Ew. Ew. Treat? Oh my god. 7.4 out of 10 on Metacritic. People like this movie generally. A B on Cinema Score. 71% positive score on Post Track. 3 out of 5 average on that website. So those are kind of like the general consensus websites. It got a 10-minute standing ovation. Funny enough, at a film festival that it previewed at. It's an extravagant and outrageous movie, scary, nasty, and startling in its warped romantic idealism. The Guardian gave it a perfect rating. Bones and All is fastidiously romantic. It's so carefully made and so lovely to look at, even at its grisliest. And it's a cool romantic story. I just don't like the fucking cannibalism. It's weird. Like that's drawing the line. Like, the direction, the cast performances. Taylor Russell was amazing. I mean, obviously Timothy Chalamet and Mark Rylance did well in this film as well. Yeah, Russell and Chalamet had great chemistry in this movie. The duo is profound and touching and genuine. Their performances are unforced and underplayed to a subtly stirring effect. The film's strangely affecting, even poetic. The direction, the cinematography. A lot of things about this movie are just flat out good. Bones and All is fundamentally a beautifully realized and devastating tragic romance, which at multiple moments would have Chekhov himself weeping as the trigger is pulled. It's an alternatively plotting and engrossing YA road movie. I don't know. I mean, the film doesn't really have that satisfactory of an ending. I mean, Bones and All has its merits, but the film is only a decent side dish at the feast of Guadagnino. It's wryly funny, gleefully entertaining, and oddly touching. The score was pretty good as well. It's kind of like people were comparing it to Call Me By Your Name. Like two sides of the same coin, both cunningly display the love we find for ourselves when we are allowed to truly love another person, Bones and All. There's real pleasure in Bones and All, an insistent sweetness that somehow both nourishes and cleanses away the horror. The film is an oddly sweet, presumably a little coppery too, due to all the blood, alchemy of love and murder. It's kind of like Badlands and Bonnie and Clyde, like more comparisons here. They're tales of lovers skirting human morality and forging their own sense of paradise with each other. The screenplay was great. I don't know. Straining to be a YA spin on trouble every day, Bones and All barely eclipses Twilight. That's fucked up. The use of gore was criticized. The problem is cannibalism can't stay a metaphor, and Guadagnino has a choice whether to be an artist or just the maker of artistically rendered Wow. I mean, yeah, you can't really cloud this out with like a concept. I do understand that critic. Like, if you don't like gore, don't fucking watch this movie, because this is like fucked up gore. Like, it's not just stabbing someone. Like, oh, we have to like fucking digest their fucking organs and shit. Like, yeah, obviously this isn't for like the average person to just be like, oh yeah, I love this movie. You know what I'm saying? But leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been GZTV, giving you guys the best movie content out there, TV show content, all that stuff. We are getting ready to actually talk about Dexter. We're nearing the end of season 6. We're gonna watch The Walking Dead today. Walking Dead's okay. I mean, I just want to get through that series. I don't think there's going to be any 2K gameplays unless something comes up. But after work tonight, best believe there's going to be a stream. And actually, there's NBA on tonight. So if that game is good,